Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's a list of stocks that I'll be watching and trading for October 4th. Okay, taking a look at the SPY real quick right here. We had a massive dump at 10 o'clock today, coming out with some, I believe it was manufacturing numbers. However, the SPY quickly and the market quickly rebounded and came right back up. Okay, and on a daily chart though, I mean, what does it look like? Okay, what does this tell me? Well, we have been in the range here. I mean, you can section this off real quick on the daily chart. The SPY came back down into this range that we were trading in. And right over here where it closed, I am looking at this 100 SMA. So this 292.50. Okay, I think this is where we're headed back to tomorrow. SPY itself closed pretty strong. I want to see it come back up, retest this before the fail. I don't trust this up move, to be quite honest. Further sectioning it out right now, I mean, just a pretty quick eyeball, here. I mean, there is a little tiny range in here that we're trading in. Okay, so if it gaps up, then I'm going to look for the SPY to test this 292.50 area. And then from here, we'll see what it does. If it opens flat, I'm going to expect a little pop and drop, just very tiny, to test the highs of today and then fail from there, which is 290.50, and then fail from there, coming back down to test these lows. And if the 288 snaps right here, then we're going to come back down and test here. So very easy kind of thesis on what will happen on the market tomorrow. I mean, there's two plans to it, right? Overall, the most important level is where we're currently sitting at tomorrow, really depending on how we open tomorrow. As you can see off this yellow, this orange line right here, it's basically our closing price. I want to see either a gap up or a gap down from there, or how it reacts at this level at this closing price. And then once it decides, it kind of holds either the higher or the bottom of this price point, I can decide whether the market will go up or down. Right now, we're in the middle of everything, so it's pretty hard to decide. But overall, I'm leaning a little bit more to the long side at the open just because it closed so well. Haven't had a chance to look at the futures yet, but if we do gap up, look for a pull in to hold and then ride it back up to the 100 SMA here on the daily chart. The 100 SMA, I mean, we gapped right through it a few days ago. But if you look on to the prior month in August and September, you see that it actually kind of respects this SMA right here. As you can see, we have a price point here, price point here, price point here, here, and here, all around here. So it does hold a little bit of water, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. We'll have to see what it does in the pre-market open. Okay, so that's my quick take on the SPY if you're into trading the market. Let's get into the watch list real quick. I want to talk about Roku first. This is very interesting to me. Let's load up some drawings on Roku. Roku had a big day on the run up, and I want to load up some drawings on the daily chart. Now, these drawings were basically drawn, if you remember from my watch list from a few nights ago. These were the same levels and the same drawings, right? Basically, we are still watching this orange line here, 107.50. We had an amazing run up, okay, and overall the average shoe range is $8.50, but the relative volume is 1.5, so it makes the stock in play. We have ran up above its prior little level over here, this prior resistance, and it might get the buyers back interested. This little run up needs to get tested though. It needs to get tested really good. It has yet to pull back down. What I'm very certain of is the 102 level is a very key support. And because for the past few days we've been testing it, see right here, here, and this is actually where it ran today. So the 102 is a for sure key support, right? Coming down here under this price point, we have the 105 as a prior resistance level, now becomes potential support. So I am expecting a pull in tomorrow at the open to see if this holds water. If it does, then run it back up long. Okay. However, if we are gapping up, since we close so well, if we are gapping up, I do want to take a look at this 110.30 level. Okay, this key level was from, I believe, the big dump day, and as you can see, it looks like it wants to get back up in this range here. This level respected very well. I made these resistance line on this day on September 23rd. Okay, so going back into this day, the level still holds, and the 110.23 is what I'm looking at, and that's where I'm interested to watch and see if it gets stuff from there. It might leak through $1 or so, because at the open it's very volatile and this thing can really run. Some could say that the buyers has reclaimed control from the bottom here, and it has reclaimed the 102. Like I said, the 105 had yet to be tested, and this 107.5 is very key. It needs to open up to continue to run, and even if it does open up, it needs to test this 110 area and break through for me to be very bullish on the stock. So I'm looking for a pull in personally to test this 105 first, and then back up or gap up, and then from the 110 sell off into the 105, and then we'll see if this 105 holds. Okay, so that's Roku. It's going to be on my main watch tomorrow. OKTA is next. Let's load up some drawings here. OKTA. Okay, OKTA is in play because SunTrust today came out with an analyst buy rating, I believe. Then they set the price target to 134. Okay, the stock has an average true range of $6, and today it has a relative volume of 3.5. What's interesting about this right now? This EMA, this is the 50 EMA on the daily chart. It tagged it and pulled back from there. Now, it's still closed very well above its highs and kept a lot of its gains, but it has yet to test this run up over here. Coming over here into the daily chart, I mean, this is the closest key support level that I'm looking at right now. But what really got me into watching this and looking for these levels is from September 9th. Okay, so basically this day right here, as I zoom out a little bit, this day right here, September 9th. Okay, so it's basically right here on the daily chart, September 9th and 10th, this big dump day with massive volume. So this is September 9th right here, the 30-minute chart. As we dump here, I see the one with the massive volume. Let's change this. I want to, because we're going so far back, I want to change it to the hourly chart, okay, and zoom in into that day, September 9th, and I want to see where all the volume was done, right? So basically coming over here, at 10 o'clock, we have massive selling volume at 117.40, okay? And the candle finished at the 112.72. So I have resistance and support here. And then from here, we see a buy point. So buyers stepped in at 112.72, and then seller stepped in at 115.25. So from here, it dumped again. And then at this price point, 111.50 is where I got this area right here. Okay, so 111.50 on the daily chart is this key support. Okay, so we have reclaimed and closed above it. So what I want to see is, I mean, if you're looking at this dump on this day, buyers really stepped in on this candle to try to hold up this 112.75, right? And then eventually they failed at the fight here at 115 and got dumped on. Now the stock we are trading back above the 112.75 area, so the buyers we gain control. What I want to see is if these sellers will come back in and hammer them again. Okay, and I know this is at least a month old of data, but these long-term investors in here, they might be holding the bag as well. So coming over here, if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see how these level work out on today. This is the 111.5. So I wonder if it marks off here. So it just basically went straight up and through and squeezed through this 111.5. So this level has yet to be tested, and the stock is so overextended, right? So I think a pullback back down into this 111.5 where the VWAP is probable cause. I really like the idea of that. And if 111.5 does hold, then I'm going to look for a second day play for the long side and up to at least 117.40 right here. And then we have the 122.50, which is on a daily chart right here, the high of September 9th. Okay, this is where the sellers came in, right? So that's what I'm looking at right now. And the chart being so overextended, I don't know if it can run again. However, I'm definitely looking for a pull in at the open, and pre-market data will help me revise this plan tomorrow. Okay, so but definitely in play because look at the amount of volume with the catalyst. I don't know if it can definitely. I don't know if it can run again today, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so OKTA, Costco announced earnings after hours. Let's see. Let's change this back into the 30-minute chart real quick. Costco. Okay, so just looking at the intraday on Costco, and actually let's look at the daily chart first. We have a downward channel right here. Okay, so this is very important in my opinion. If I take a look at that, this downward channel leads to the 280 target on the bottom of this channel. Surprisingly, 280 is also from where this big run-up day happened. Okay, so zooming out a little bit. Okay, so I definitely think the stock wants to test this 280 again. The earnings report had a very mixed reaction to it. Today, we see people buying it up into earnings, and then right out the gates, it dumped and quickly recovered. But on this recovery, though, if they really enjoyed the earnings report and liked the earnings report, this should have ran, right? This should have continued to go up, but however, it didn't, and it actually finished very weak after hours, and it looks like it's about to roll over, to be quite honest. So what I want to talk about here, though, is the 226.25 area. So let's mark that off. This is a key area that I'll be watching. I'm going to mark that off as orange. On the daily chart here, let me mark off 286.25 and you'll know what I mean. Okay, it's right about here. So this is a daily chart support area, okay? And in the past few weeks, people have been defending this area for the longest time as it came back down. And you see how it kept bouncing off here. Eventually, on October 1st, this got dumped on and came through and finished under, okay? So we have buyers trying to hold it up at 286.25, and anything above this price point, to me, buyers are in control. And once we got dumped through, the next day, October 2nd, which was yesterday, the stock tried to come back up and got stuffed again in the pre-market. And then we have the earnings pop, people buying into the earnings, okay? And we get stuff right back down under this price point. So to me, buyers have lost control. It's now in the seller's control. And I want to see it retest this 286.25 area and see if the sellers or if the buyers are able to regain this price point. If they aren't, then it's definitely a sell to test this 280 as well as the 278, 279 right here in the after hours lows. So that's my target right here. I'm leaning more towards the sell side tomorrow. We have the next price point of support at 282.5, and also going to be watching how this 283.75 reacts tomorrow, as you can see. Okay, so very simple analysis on Costco, easy watch, high relative volume. This stock, let me see here. It has an average true range of $5.25, so it's very much in play with the recent catalyst. Definitely going to be on my main watch tomorrow. Looking for a pop and drop. If it opens flat, I might just short it out the gates, risking the 285 first and see what happens, right? Because we do have a psychological whole number at 285, and you see that 285 have been in play for the prior few days as well. Okay, so going to be watching that, Costco, and then on a side watch, I'll be watching CGC, Canopy Growth. Okay, Canopy Growth, this is going to be on a side watch. This stock basically ran on the backings of Constellation Brand announcing their earnings today. And Constellation Brands, they had good earnings. However, the stock sold. We'll go into that in a bit. Constellation Brands owned a majority share stake or a big share stake in CGC. Okay. However, in the cannabis industry, all the weed stocks have been selling off lately, and this pop to me is it's suspect, right? We are coming into a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of resistance at 24 to 25 and 26. The key resistance I'll be watching for here, though, is $25 if it can actually get back up there. And from there, I'm definitely looking to for it to reject and short it. As you can see here on the intraday chart, 25 and 24, we have a clear range, right? So the stock's kind of trended up and down here for a few days. This is a range here. So very interesting to see if it can get back above 24. And if it does, it's actually not going to take much for it to go to 25. However, this is a prior range that it broke under of. So, and we are coming back up into it. So very interesting to see what it does around 24. If it cannot get back above, if it gets stuff, then short it right back down. Okay, and follow through on the major trend of cannabis stocks, that is the short and a piece of shit that they are. So that's basically my take on CGC. And then Constellation Brand, they had good earnings numbers. However, I think the overall wheat sector is dragging them down, and Canopy Growth in itself is dragging them down. So basically, despite the beat, they're still selling off today. It has recovered quite a bit. It bounced off the 292 area. So that's actually a key price point right over here on the daily chart. Okay. And we close above the 195 as well. So mark that off. This is more of a side watch for me tomorrow. If it can hold. See, this is the pre-market lows. So I'll be watching that for today. Okay. And I also will be watching from where it opened today, the 201. But we have the 50 MA come down on the 30-minute chart here. So from the $200 mark, if it can get back up there, I'm expecting it to sell off from the 200 and retest this 192. So that's my side watch take on Constellation Brand. Basically, that's my watch list this evening. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about this analysis, and I'll be looking forward to chit-chatting with you soon. See you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Ooh, look at this. This major volume here at today at 195. Okay. Okay, so 195 is definitely a price point that we need to watch, right? We have been trading back above it. Let's see. So this is where the seller stepped in, and then the buyers held the 192, and then it closed and reclaimed 195, and we close above it. Oh, we closed right on it, basically. We'll have to see. This 195 is the deciding factor tomorrow. Okay, so anyways, see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.